how are you? Welcome. My name is Maxwell and this is the Blue Statistics. Today, President Trump has officially threatened to take a military action against the nation of Nigeria if Nigeria is not going to crack down on the killing of the Christians.
U.S. President Donald Trump is threatening to send military forces into Nigeria unless the government stops what he called the killings of Christians by terrorists.
What do you understand about this issue? It simply means that America is very serious on defending the rights of the Christianity. Yes, we have heard of several cases of the Hezbollah attacking Christians in Nigeria, killing Christians being persecuted in one way or the other. And it seems this has now attracted the attention of President Trump. And the president feels like the government of Nigeria, the forces are not taking enough action. And so he's kind of pushing them to make more effort towards making sure that the killings of Christians in Nigeria gets to stop.
Trump posted the message on Truth Social saying the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria and may very well go into that now disgraced country, guns blazing, to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists, he says, who are committing these horrible atrocities. Trump says he's instructed the Department of War to prepare for possible action and says if we attack, it will be fast, vicious and sweet. Well, Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu has responded to Trump in a statement saying since 2023, our administration has maintained an open and active engagement with Christian and Muslim leaders alike and continues to address security challenges which affect citizens across faiths and regions. The characterizations of Nigeria as religiously intolerant does not, he says, reflect our national reality.
And Trump called Nigeria a disgraced country. That was quite ridiculous. And want to take a military action. And that he said that it would be swift and severe. That means the president meant that if by any chance they are going to reach a point of taking a military action against Nigeria, then they are going to do it in a very swift way and severe, causing a very serious damage, but very fast. That is, I think, is what the president meant. He also announced that US would immediately stop all aid assistance to the nation of Nigeria and to the government if the government fails to protect the Christians. So I believe, President Trump is known to be a man who speaks, but at the end of the day, he takes actions towards his words. You remember when President Trump gave a warning to the nation of Iran, at long run, he ensured that he struck Iran. So we have known US to begin speaking in such languages, but at the end of the day, you might think that they are joking, but they end up taking a very serious action against to support the word that they said.
Well, let's speak to Bulama Bukati about this. He's a Nigerian human rights lawyer and an analyst on conflict and development in Africa. Thank you so much for your time. So Donald Trump claims there is a Christian genocide happening in Nigeria. From your research and experience, is this claim true? Are those facing persecution in Nigeria mainly Christians?
Absolutely not. The answer is a flat no. All the data reveals is that there is no Christian genocide going on in Nigeria. And this narrative is a dangerous, far-right narrative that has been simmering for a long time that President Trump is amplifying today. It is very dangerous, it is divisive, and it is only going to increase or further increase instability in Nigeria. What the data reveals is that there are terrorist groups claiming to be fighting in the name of Islam, who are misinterpreting Islam and misapplying it. They target Muslims and Christians anywhere they find them. They bomb markets, they bomb churches, they bomb mosques, and they attack every civilian location they find. They do not discriminate between Muslims and Christians. And what the data shows, for my PhD research, for example, I used the data, the Nigerian Securities Tracker data, which was collated by the Council on Foreign Relations. And it shows that Boko Haram had attacked 83 churches and 72 mosques, but it had killed more than 2,000 people, more than 2,000 Muslim worshippers in the mosque, as against about 1,500 churches or people killed in church. And we are not comparing one or the other. Both of them are wrong. All attacks on innocent civilians are wrong, and we should be working together to stop Boko Haram from those attacks.
So what has the government been doing then to stop these attacks, which, as you say, have targeted both Muslims and Christians in Nigeria?
The Nigerian government has, over the past 10 years or so, allocated billions of dollars to insecurity. And they have claimed to have purchased weapons and reformed the Nigeria's military and security architecture to confront the crisis. Unfortunately, the situation continues to escalate. Part of it is lack of good governance. Part of it is corruption in the security procurement sector. Part of it is negligence by the government. Part of it is resilience by these groups, because these are guerrilla groups that hit and run. And it is not easy to tackle groups like those. But also, Nigeria has vast swaths of land that have not been controlled or governed for many years. And these terrorists find their enclave or their harbor there, and that's where they operate into the cities and retreat back to their jungles. It's very difficult. The Nigerian...
Yeah, let me ask you, how might Trump's framing of Nigeria as a place where Christians are being wiped out, how might it affect Nigeria's relationship with the U.S. and also its internal religious harmony? And do you think that military assistance from the United States could actually help Nigeria without undermining its sovereignty, of course?
Sure. So, Trump's narrative, the way it will affect Nigeria is that Boko Haram and other terrorist groups in Nigeria are common enemies of Nigerian Muslims as well as Christians. And the only way you can defeat this enemy is by uniting. Trump's narrative is dividing Nigerians dramatically, even more than before. And the only person that will benefit in this division are the terrorists. And of course, American help with weapons, with equipment, with training to the Nigerian military will help. But the kind of action Donald Trump was suggesting, which shows unilateral intervention in Nigeria, will only escalate matters and is going to be counterproductive. The United States has nasty experiences in Iraq, in Afghanistan, and I don't think they want to repeat that mistake. And therefore, the way forward is to work with the Nigerian government, to work with Nigerians, Muslims, and Christians who are affected by this violence, and to do things in calm ways rather than announcing things on Twitter or doing social media foreign policy. I think Trump and the American government can help, but not in this way.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. Thank you for your insight. Bulama Bukati joining us on Al Jazeera there from Benin.
Don't miss out. Get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news and expert insights. Like, share, stay ahead.
So Nigerian government has actually answered America back, but in a very friendly and a very good way. Congratulations, Nigeria. They say wrong and wrong will never bring about right. So Nigeria has pushed back against President Trump's threats with an advice to President Trump from President Bola Tinubu. That is the president of Nigeria. And the president of the country of Nigeria said to the president of US that they welcome the assistance of US to help them in curbing the terrorism attack towards the Christians that are living in Nigeria. So the response was kind of friendly and also reminded the US to that by any chance, if they are going to approach Nigeria by actually escalating against the government, that would not be the right action. Nigeria is expecting to welcome Americans' hand in helping them by intelligence, supporting them militarily, and helping them to curb the Christianity, the terrorism attack towards the Christianity. And the president's office also said that it is worth noting that Trump's claims about widespread of Christian persecution in Nigeria are disputed. Why are they disputed? It seems like the angle by which the United States sees the Christianity persecution in Nigeria is different from the angle that the government of Nigeria sees it. And this says that with some experts, actually, there are some intel and or information that comes from the ground. The experts are saying that the number that is considered to be Christians that are being persecuted is quite low compared to what America acknowledges. And according to the information that was given by an organization by the name ACLED, The research showed that out of 1,920 Christians or people, not Christians, people that were attacked, only 50 Christians were targeted. The rest were not targeted on the Christianity basis or on the religious basis. So this means Nigeria claims that the information that America is giving is quite false, but in a humble way, actually. And America is a big brother. And when the big brother is speaking, you get to know how you speak your words back. And so Nigeria is very careful on how everything is being handled. It is good, but I believe America has got the right information to reach a point of giving such warnings to the nation of Nigeria, the government of Nigeria. And also you get to understand that Trump says that he ordered Pentagon to prepare for potential attack towards Nigeria if action is not going to be taken. That is how America takes it. We know President Trump. He's a man who is soft-spoken. At times he speaks like he's not serious. But believe me, if you don't take Trump with seriousness, he's going to take an action.
An urgent message from President Trump demanding Nigeria stop the brutal murders of thousands of Christians in the country or face possible action from the Pentagon. He posted in part, quote, "The USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria and may very well go into that now disgraced country guns a-blazing to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities." Paul Adamu is a Nigerian Christian who was kidnapped by Boko Haram 2 years ago. He joins us now. It's so wonderful to have you on the show. Please tell us what happened to you.
It was such a disheartening situation. 2 years ago, I was kidnapped by the dreaded Boko Haram along my way to the airport while I was traveling to Cameroon to meet some of my colleagues, and then I got kidnapped along the line, along the route.
And you were held for how long?
12 days.
Okay. And there are many people, especially young girls, who have been kidnapped by Boko Haram, put into forced marriages, forced conversions. They're still in captivity. The situation there is quite dire. You heard what President Trump has said. Here's what Nigeria's president has said in response. He said that the characterization of Nigeria as religiously intolerant does not reflect our national reality, nor does it take into consideration the consistent and sincere efforts of the government to safeguard freedom of religion and beliefs for all Nigerians. What's your message? What's it like to be a Christian in Nigeria?
First, I want to thank and applaud the United States of American President Donald Trump for designating Nigeria as a CPC, because this is one of the things that we have always wanted. For the message of the Nigerian president, that I think at this point, I will say that there is a time when propaganda has no appeal, where propaganda has lost an appeal. And this is actually the time, because whatever is happening in Nigeria at this moment, I will say that Nigeria is the worst place to be as a Christian, like the worst place in the whole of the world to be as a Christian, because we wake up every day with news of killings. Every day with news of massacring of Christians. It's totally a genocide that is happening here in Nigeria. There is nothing anybody will tell me, because I have been in here for as long as I know. I've been in these places where these attacks have taken place. I've seen women who are crying for the loss of their husbands. I've seen children who are crying for the loss of their parents. I've seen parents who are crying for the loss of their children. I've been to churches that have been burnt down. These are not things that I've heard from the news or someone telling me. This is something that I witnessed somewhere. I've been myself. I've witnessed where terrorism is at the highest point, where people are killed and slaughtered like chickens every day.
Paul, I don't have a lot of time left, but I just want to ask you one last question. How have you and other Christians kept the faith during this persecution?
We are grateful for the organization I work with, Irish Global, who have taken it upon themselves to care for these persecuted Christians by providing relief materials, emergency kits, and then also providing them with discipleship, where they are being told that despite all that is happening to them, Christ still loves them.
Paul Adamu, just so you know, the African church, the Nigerian church in particular, the Christians there have been an amazing example of faith through persecution and martyrdom. And we are praying for all of you very much. And we hope the president will do something that will make a difference for your religious freedom in your country. Thank you so much for joining us today.
US president says that Nigeria has not done enough to stop the killings of Christians. I believe that US is among the nations around the world that have got a very high level of intelligence. And maybe for president just to come out and approach Nigeria head on, that simply means that there is something that the president has noted. I believe that our Christian brothers are not suffering down there in Nigeria. So Nigerian President Tinubu rejects claims of the religious intolerance. Yes, we have just explained that according to the response that Nigeria has given to the Pentagon concerning the killings or the claims that Christians are being persecuted in Nigeria. And then Nigeria vows to keep violent extremists fought or thwarted. So Nigeria actually promised also to take an action towards that. And that's a good move. And that is a great decision by taking things on a good note. That means that Nigeria is kind of cooperative, because at the end of the day, we want to protect our people. And I believe that it would be good for America to give Nigeria the intelligence support for some times and see if that is not going to work. Then I believe the president spoke, meaning that he wants to support them intelligently, but he would want Nigeria to be very serious and take an action concerning the information that America is going to give them. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is what I had for you today, rolling out between the West African country and the nation of the United States of America. I believe things are not going the south, and I believe things are going to be resolved very soon. Nigeria is going to remain to be a peaceful country, because sincerely speaking, we know that when America is involved, in most cases, the nation remains to be shapeless. Libya remained shapeless. Iraq remained to be shapeless. The other countries where America has been involved in the wars and everything, these nations have remained to be shapeless. And they might thwart one militia group only to realize that another one is building up. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for having your time. And please remember to share, like, and subscribe. And keep it here for the updates. God bless you. Have a good day.